Come on, honey. Well, this here's my new bronc buster. This is my daughter, Catherine. Shalom Aleichem, Jackson Two Bears.
Mr. Ballou, what's the use of saying Shalom Aleichem to me? I'm a full Sioux Indian. I'm not one of the chosen people.
All right, go ahead being stubborn if you want
Well,
it.
I ain't stubborn.
Oh, not much you ain't. You know, according to an ex-congressman of these United States I heard give a lecture at the Chautauqua this winter, Injuns is the lost tribe of Israel, but he won't admit it.
Just ain't true.
He was an ex-congressman of these United States, I tell you.
Oh, Papa, maybe he was mistaken.
Oh, no, he was not. Jackson just got a mean, stubborn streak in him is all. I brought Mr. Bernstein, the telegraph operator, out here from town last month, and he stood right where you're standing now, and he talked Hebrew at Jackson for 10 minutes by my watch, and Jackson pretended he didn't understand a word. Now, I call that stubborn.
Well, I didn't understand a word.
You see what I mean? Now, you get that trunk down out of there. I'll get the satchel.
Okay, this is called The Lost 10 Tribes of Israel Found. Alright, by Stephen M. Collins. Alright. Page 51. Says, additional evidence of ancient worshippers of the true God in America had been noted on a Decalogue tablet, a stone tablet having an ancient Hebrew inscription of the Ten Commandments, which was unearthed in Ohio in 1860. Besides having an inscription of the Ten Commandments on it, the tablet includes a depiction of an individual meant to represent Moses, which has been carved in considerable detail on the front of the tablet. Okay. And page 84. Actually, no, that was basically it on that. I'm gonna go in this. This is called Annals, which Annals means Chronicles of Philadelphia and Pennsylvania in the olden time. Bring a collection of memoirs, anecdote, and incident of the cities and its inhabitants, and of the earliest settlements of the inland part of Pennsylvania from the date of the founders. It intended to preserve the recollections. Alright, Philadelphia, published by Elijah Thomas, number 28, S 7th Street, 1857. Alright. Entered according to the Act of Congress in the years 1857 by Elijah Thomas in the Clerk's Office of the District Court of the United States in and for the Eastern District of Pennsylvania. Alright. These are chronicles from Philadelphia, about the Indians of Philadelphia. And it says, such a scene was like the patriarchal relations in the Bible, and Brickwell makes the remark that many of the observances in his mind seem to show their affinity to the Jews. They had their regular feasts, such as the first corn that is fit to use was made a fruit offering, and when they started on hunting expeditions, the first game that was taken they skinned whole, observing not to break a bone, and leaving thereon the head, ears, and hoofs. This they cook whole, and everyone partakes, and the rest they entirely burn up. They also observe the law of clean and unclean animals. They never eat catfish, eels, or other fish without scales, nor beasts or birds of prey. They would not even eat rabbits when he had killed them. Their women, too, observed with remarkable strictness times of seclusion, and not returning to society till after washing themselves and their whole apparel. That's during the time of the menstrual cycle. Alright, for 7 days. He shows, too, that they were eminently strictly a religious people in their own way, worshiping God always according to the law of their fathers. Alright, that was it on that. Now, one more thing. This is chapter 6, Ancient Religious Beliefs. You can Google this, you'll find it. It says, writing in 1701, William Bartrand said the Cherokees were by no means idolaters, unless they're puffing tobacco smoke toward the sun and rejoicing at the appearance of each new moon. Why would they rejoice at the appearance of each new moon? Because they kept the Sabbath. The Sabbath is governed by the moon. The moon brings in the Sabbath, basically. Alright, it says they had no religious images among them, or any idolatrous religious rites or ceremony that he could observe. Instead, they adorned the Great Spirit, whom they described as the giver and taker away of the breath of life, with the most profound and respectful homage. Now, this is talking about the Cherokees. In 1736, James Adair confirmed Bartram's views, saying that although it was well known that the ancient heathens worshipped the plurality of gods which they created to satisfy their own beliefs, the Cherokees did none of this and were devoted to the great, beneficent, supreme, Holy Spirit of fire, who resided above the clouds and on earth with purified people. That was Israel. They did not pay the least perceivable adoration to any images, dead persons, celestial luminaries, evil spirits, or any created thing whatsoever, or being whatsoever. They practiced none of the gestures employed by the pagans in their religious rites and kissed no idols. Their form of religious worship was more like the Mosaic institution than it was like that of the pagans. It says, Adair migrated from Scotland to South Carolina in 1735 and went to be with the Cherokees in 1736. From this year through 1768, he spent 40 years among them. When he left Chickasaw country, he was a careful observer and recorder of Indian life, and as a rule, his efforts receive high praise from early and present scholars. It is certainly most useful, and for antiquities it is hard, if not impossible, to surpass, and yet it suffers from two unfortunate flaws. The first is that he overwhelms the Indian material by his powerful convictions that the southeastern Indians were in some way descended from or linked to the Hebrews, and thus perpetuated Jewish customs. Alright? Next page, it says, Adair felt would not he so if the majority of the old natives was of heathenish descent, since all pagans would fight to the death to retain their superstitious worship, even when it had lost all its substance. But the Cherokees did not believe the sun was any bigger than it appeared to the naked eye, and they never prostrated They never prostrated themselves or bowed their bodies to each other in salute or homage, except when they were making or renewing peace with strangers who came in the name of Yahweh. But they always bowed in the religious dances. Okay, and that was it on that, basically. That was it for the tribe of Gad. Alright, we're gonna go into the tribe of Reuben next. Alright, so I'll be back. Shalom.